Hai, salam sejahtera. Welcome to Virtual Venture Vacation channel. My name is Chua Han. So today I'm going to bring you to the most iconic, or basically one of the most famous building in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, known as the KLCC or the Twin Tower. The Twin Tower is actually located right in the city center, and of course, it is the most iconic building in Malaysia. It is located at Jalan Ampang, which was also one of a very famous for the tin mining place, where very booming area in Kuala Lumpur. Now, formerly, the KLCC is actually a piece of land which is the Selangor Turf Club, where every weekend, whenever they had the horse race over there, it was causing tremendous traffic jam. So that's the reason why our former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir, he has suggested that to shift this turf club away to the Kuala Lumpur outskirts, and basically to build a building which is very famous for Malaysia. Now, the reason why he wanted to build this building is basically because Malaysia is the least known nation among the Southeast Asia countries. So basically, you see, during the olden days, a lot of people do not even know Malaysia. They were wondering, where is Malaysia actually? So basically, KLCC is also to let the world know that Malaysia is a modern Islamic country. So Tun Dr. Mahathir also wanted to build this as a city within city concept, meaning to say that within that big or mega structure, mega building itself, there is another city, right? So basically, it is going to be a very big, massive architecture. And the very main architect of the KLCC is actually Cesar Pelli. He's an Argentinian who resides, or basically already the citizens of US. And he has already studied a lot of Islamic architectural design. And basically, he wanted to build a twin tower with a various design for Malaysia. However, our Tun Dr. Mahathir wasn't very satisfied. And basically, Tun Mahathir also helped out on suggesting how it can be designed. So one day, Tun Dr. Mahathir took two pieces of square paper and overlapped them and told Cesar Pelli, you can actually build the building by having the star, because that is also a symbol of Islam, and it signifies order and harmony. So basically, Cesar Pelli had the idea, right? But then he felt that if it is a star, then a lot of space is going to be wasted. So basically, he slightly changed the design and add semicircles on each corner of the stars. So that is basically to maximize the space of the Twin Tower. And initially, when they planned to build this building, the KLCC was supposed to be, initially it was supposedly to be 427 meter high only. And as compared to the Willis Tower, or basically known as the Sears Tower, was 442 meter. So Tun Dr. Mahathir asked Cesar Pelli, is it possible to redesign this building so that it can be the tallest building of the world? So of course, Cesar Pelli said yes. So that's how they have basically changed the whole design of the Twin Tower, and basically designed it to become the tallest building in the world. and it will have the height of 451.9 meter height. So they started the whole project in 1993, and for them, they have planned that it has to be 6 years to complete, and it is a real big pressure basically to the builders, because they have to hit the target by 6 years, or else just imagine that they will lose 700,000 ringgit a day if there is any delay, or equivalent to 5 million ringgit a week. So that's the reason why basically when they were building the Twin Tower, they were actually in 24 hours operation. And due to this reason, our Tun Dr. Mahathir was also very, very anxious about the building process. That's the reason why, if you have been visited to the Galleria Sri Perdana, that is the place where our Tun Dr. Mahathir formerly stayed in. So he has a telescope at the balcony of the house, so that from the telescope itself, he can see the process of the whole process of building the KLCC. So you can imagine, yeah, if let's say it is late, then they have a very huge loss. So basically, the KLCC has 2 towers. Tower 1 was actually built by Japan Hazama Corporation, and Tower 2 was built by Korea Samsung Engineering Construction. So you might be curious, why KLCC, these 2 towers are built from 2 different builders. Yeah. So basically, this is the idea of our Tun Dr. Mahathir again, because he felt that let these 2 big companies compete. Whoever get ready the building first, and this company will get a chance to build the bridge, which is located in the middle part of the whole building. So basically, when they started to build this KLCC, of course, they faced various challenges. Yeah, even the mega structure, yeah, like this, they have a lot of challenges. And the first challenge is actually that they found out that the soil of the building site is not balanced, because partially side of the soil is actually lots of granites. And according to Charlie Thornton, the structure engineer, if they continue on building the KLCC at the site, and it's just a matter of time, one of the building will tilt. So that's the reason why this engineer has suggested that they slightly shift that this KLCC building 60 meters away from the original site, so that basically that the whole land can support to this building. Now, the second challenge is actually that in Malaysia, we do not have steel, actually. And most of the mega structure, mega building, they were actually using steel. So how does this building can withstand without steel? So that's why basically the engineers, they have already experimented, and they found that in California, they have a new design of a cement by additional of silica. Silica is actually one of the ingredients to produce for the computer, actually, that is to harden the cement, so that this whole building can really sustain the whole weight. The cement can really sustain the weight of the building. And then the third challenge is actually the thunderstorm, because Malaysia is an equatorial climate, and basically every evening after 3 o'clock, there'll be a lot of thunderstorm. In fact, in Malaysia, we are one of the most, we are having the most lightning in the world. That's where we have very heavy rain. So basically, when there is this rain, the cement will take a longer period to harden. So basically, they use the silica to add to the cement to harden them, to quickly harden them. And another method is where they build up a massive, big tent to cover the whole site. And when they started to pour the cement, they poured 52 hours of the cement. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine how much cement that they use to build the Twin Tower? Basically, they have to use a lot of this cement at the bottom of the building. Yeah, it is more than 100 meters deep down inside. That is the thickness of the cement at the bottom of the Twin Tower. So why it is so deep? The very main reason is because the cement is going to have a weight to really support or withstand the Twin Tower. So basically, that is how the Twin Tower is being nailed to the ground instead of using the steel. Yeah. So the fourth challenge is actually when they were building this building. Then there's one day the architect found that the Tower 1 was tilted. If you can remember, Tower 1 was actually built by the Japanese. So basically, when they are at the 72nd floor, they realize that the building is tilting. So they have no choice but to stop the building. So they stop the building to let the Korean to build the building first. Why it is like that? It is at a later stage that they found no matter how that they wanted the building straight up 90 degrees, somewhere, somehow, the building will sway slightly. So that they, at the later stage, they also found that there's another method whereby if that second building is being built up, then they will be able to build the bridge to withstand that first tower so that it won't be tilted anymore. So the fifth challenge is actually building the bridge. Now they, of course, don't really had a very deep study or survey on building the bridge. And basically the bridge can't be built straight away in the middle of the air. You might be curious why. It's because in the middle of the two towers, the wind which blew into it, of course, at a very high speed, the pressure is there. So that's the reason why the bridge can't be built straight away from the air. So basically, actually, due to the Korean finish the building, and the Korean would actually build the bridge in Korea, and they actually imported the bridge from all the way from Korea, and when it reached Malaysia, they fixed it back. And then now this bridge was in on the 41st and 42nd floor of the building. Now it has a very, very special function where a lot of people do not know, whereby actually if you see the so-called like a leg of the bridge, is actually they have fixed this bridge with the ball bearing. The reason why they use ball bearing is because, just as I mentioned, in the middle of two of the towers, the pressure of the wind is very strong, so that when the wind is very strong, the bridge can sway slightly. So that's the reason why the bridge is actually built with attached to the very, very big ball bearing. And another very big challenge for them is actually, to raise up the bridge. can you imagine that the bridge is actually 400 tons, and it is actually very much heavier than the 747 aeroplane. And they were actually using 16 hydraulic jets and cable to lift the bridge. And just imagine when they were actually lifting the bridge without, this is all out of sudden, thunderstorm and lightning strike 3 times. And due to this reason, initially the planned 20 hours to really fix the bridge, and it turned out 36 hours of operation. So basically, the bridge is actually, we can visit the bridge actually at the 41st floor. The bridge is actually located 41st and 42nd floor. So what about the 42nd floor? 42nd floor is actually the main purpose of the 42nd floor is actually for emergency escape. Just in case, when there's a fire or any emergency incidents happen, those occupants of the building, they can actually use the 42nd floor or the emergency floor to escape the building. Now, the KLCC Sky Bridge is actually open to the public, and it is open from Tuesday to Sunday, even on public holidays. But please take note, it is closed on every Monday, and it is open from 9 o'clock in the morning right up to 5 o'clock in the evening. And the last call for admission to the Sky Bridge is actually at 4:30. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the price for the ticket. So basically, if it is for the children, it's only 33 ringgit, and for the Malaysian, it's actually 14 ringgit. Now, for the adults, it's actually 80 ringgit for the foreigners, and for the locals, it's actually 28 ringgit. Now, you can actually buy the ticket through online. Now, if you purchase the ticket through the online, so this is the attached over here is the website for you to do the reservation. Now, please remember, if you really purchase the ticket through online, you must print out the order number or the confirmation, and produce it at the ticket counter. Now, this is very important. Please take note, because every day only 1,200 tickets are issued, and then due to this reason, basically there'll be very, very long queue, and people start to queue even at 8:30 in the morning, and then usually by 11 o'clock the tickets are sold out. So basically, how to purchase the tickets? There are 3 methods actually. First, of course, without any reservation, you just queue and purchase it at the concourse level. The second, as mentioned earlier on, that you can book it through the online. The third, which is one or basically the best, but of course it is also the most expensive, is actually to buy tickets from the local travel agent. Now, why it's expensive is because these travel agents actually, they deliver the ticket to you, and they also provide transportation and tourist guide service from your hotel right up to the KLCC. So in fact, if you really purchase the tickets from the travel agents, you may skip the queue, and then your visit is basically guaranteed, and you don't need to be afraid of the tickets sold out. So basically, this is the most or the best way to actually to purchase the ticket. So the ticket, what does they include? Yeah. Okay. The first is actually a guided tour of 5 packs each group to the Sky Bridge at 41st floor, right in the middle of the Twin Tower. And the second thing is that it includes the observation deck at the 86th floor to view the whole KL city. And then the third one is actually the digital displays at 83rd floor to know more about the Twin Tower. So basically, it covers three parts of the whole experience. Now, the on top of the KLCC is actually the pinnacles, and these pinnacles alone is actually 60 meters tall, or equivalent to 15 stories high of a building. So that's the reason why basically when they have in fact built this whole building, that the world, some architects against Malaysia announcing that this is one of the world's tallest building due to the pinnacle, is that after that the world architects having the meeting, and finally they have decided that the pinnacles can be calculated as part of the building. So if you look at this view over here, when at night the building is being lit up, the KLCC or the Twin Tower really look like a diamond in the sky. It is really very, very beautiful. And the whole building is actually, both are the same. They are symmetry, and they are 88 stories, and the height of it is 451.9 meter tall, and it's the world's tallest twin tower till today. Yeah, so that's the reason why basically this building was actually completed in the year 1996, and then 1999, our twin Dr. Mahathir basically officially opened ceremony the Twin Tower and announced that this is the world's tallest tower. And ladies and gentlemen, on the left hand side, that is the Tower 1, which is actually occupied by our national petroleum company known as the Petronas. And then the Tower 2 is occupied by Huawei, the electronic company, which is very famous from China. All right. So basically, how do I recognize the building which is Tower 1 or which is Tower 2? All right. So we recognize the building is actually through the right-hand side building, which has a digital clock on top of it. And in fact, this building is known as the Maxis building, one of the very famous telecommunication network building in Malaysia known as the Maxis Tower. So this KLCC is actually the largest public or private real estate venture in Malaysia, and the whole construction is actually cost 2.8 billion ringgit. And in fact, after this whole building was completed, you can actually spend one whole day in KLCC. So now I'm going to share with you how you can really spend one whole day in KLCC and what are the basically the facilities or where are the interesting places that you can really visit around KLCC. So basically, yeah, you can see that the KLCC actually have a shopping mall known as the Surya Mall. The second one, the PetroScience. Then we have the third KLCC Park. We have malls just by the side of the Twin Tower known as the Ashaktirin, and then we have the AQUARIA as well. So basically, the shopping mall is known as the Surya KLCC, and you can really shop till you drop here. Very there itself, they have this fourth floor is the PetroScience in the building, where if you are with kids, you can of course bring your kids to understand, yeah, basically the whole process or how they were actually mining the petrol. And of course, in the KLCC itself, if you want to purchase those international brands such as the Gucci, the LV, the Versace, Fendi, Prada, Bali, etc., you can always find those very international brands in the Surya shopping mall. And what about local brands? Of course, we have our local, very famous shoe designer, Jimmy Choo, and then we have Da Vinci, Bonia, Habib, Royal Selangor, Tommy. All these are actually our local Malaysian brands. Now, if you are spending in the KLCC the whole day, of course, you will need to go for your meals. Now, one very highly recommended restaurant for you is the Madam Kwan. Over here, basically, if you go to the Madam Kwan, I will strongly suggest to you to have the nasi lemak, which is one of the very, very famous local rice, that is the coconut milk rice with the chili paste. And or another very famous item in Madam Kwan is actually the nasi bojari, almost similar to the nasi lemak. And besides Madam Kwan, of course, there's you need not go to Penang for the hawker food. In KLCC itself, they have the Little Penang. Of course, in the Little Penang, you can have very famous foods such as our char kway teow, that is the fried noodle. Yeah, and then they have the rojak, the mixed vegetable and fruits with the prawn paste. So basically, the Little Penang serve very, very, very fantastic food in KLCC as well. Now, besides shopping and besides go for meals, of course, just by the side or basically behind of the Twin Tower is actually the KLCC Park. Yeah. So at this KLCC Park, you'll find, if you have time, of course, I would strongly recommend you to roam around, to have a stroll at the park. And you find that the trees are actually very old. Some of there are actually these 23 trees, yeah, which are actually transplanted from the former turf club. So basically, this is a very, very old trees. And for your information, the whole park was actually designed by a world very famous gardens or parks architects known as Roberto Marx. Yeah, so they actually, you see, the trees, they so-called pluck the whole thing up, transplant it, and then they planted it again. So they use one of the world's very advanced technology, yeah, to actually plant the trees. And basically, that's the reason why the trees, basically, you can see the parks, yeah, the parks, the trees are really very, very beautiful. And in fact, yeah, just behind the KLCC, they have this fountain, musical fountain, or they call it the Symphony at the park. You can have a very good view of the whole Symphony musical fountain. And of course, one very good photography spot, if you walk right up to this bridge, which is in the park, yeah, you will be able to have a photography background of the whole building of the KLCC. Of course, because a lot of people, when they don't have a very huge lens or a good camera, in fact, with any type of camera at this spot here, you'll be able to have the whole KLCC building behind you. And in the park itself, they also have the children pool, where you find a lot of locals. They love to bring their children to play around in the pool as well. And of course, this park has a colorful children playground as well, and it has also the jogging track. Now, within walking distance, actually just adjacent to the KLCC is actually the Kuala Lumpur Convention Center, and there is this aquaria, yeah, where they have a lot and various types of fish with the corals. And if you are with kids, this is also a very highly recommended place for you to visit as well. And then, of course, as mentioned earlier on, just by the side of this Twin Towers, actually the Ashakirin Mosque. For your information, one of the very unique part about this mosque is that, as mentioned in my earlier videos, basically the mosque must have a minaret, but this mosque does not have a minaret. Simple reason is that the tower itself is actually the minaret of the mosque. And another part, or very unique part about this Ashakirin Mosque is that the sermon, yeah, conducted in this mosque is actually they were using English. Basically, the main reason is because where Malaysia is hoping that Kuala Lumpur can be a metropolitan city, right? So within walking distance itself, there is this one very posh or Shangri-La chain hotel by the name of Traders Hotel. Yeah. Now, if you have time for the youngsters, highly recommended again. All right. You can always go to the SKYBAR in the evening for a drink. And I can tell you, at the SKYBAR at Traders Hotel in the evening, you can have a fantastic, very beautiful view of the Twin Tower. Then, within walking distance, just at the Kuala Lumpur Convention Center itself, if you see the on the left-hand side, that is the escalator where you go up, and then it's just about 500-meter walk. You'll be able to reach on the right-hand side. That is the Pavilion, one of the biggest and most famous shopping mall in Kuala Lumpur, and you'll be able to reach one of the most the most famous road in Kuala Lumpur, where most of the big malls are located. That is the Jalan Bukit Bintang. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you visit to the Twin Tower, please take note, all right, that through my experience as a tourist guide, a lot of tourists, when they are actually at the basement floor of the Twin Tower, they can't find the exit. They can't find the main entrance where they come in from. So that's the reason why, please take note, when you are at the bottommost floor of the shopping mall, Suria KLCC, there won't be any exit. So please take note on this part here, all right? And secondly is whereby, please take note, when you visit the park, and especially, of course, for the youngsters, new couples, there shouldn't be any intimacy. No intimacy at all, no kissing. I'm sorry to say this because Malaysia is an Islamic country. So there are actually guards around. So please make sure that you don't over-intimate when you are in the park. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, of course, I hope that you have enjoyed this short video about the Twin Tower. And if you have any inquiries, of course, as usual, you can write to me, or you can always call me or WhatsApp to me. Yeah, if you have friends or relatives who wanted to visit Malaysia, you need to rent a van or a bus, you can always just write to me. And of course, I hope that you will like this video, click like, and you will also subscribe my channel so that any new posting you'll be able to receive them, and share this video to your friends and relatives. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed your virtual tour of Kuala Lumpur Twin Tower. Thank you. Goodbye.